Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody.
We're frozen up. We're freezing up. Oh, let me know if we are buffering or can't hear or see us. Let us know. Let's see here. I hope we're doing okay here. Give me a minute to get myself together. Good morning. Good morning. My sissy is the first one here today.
Good morning.
Hey,
everybody,
darling.
everybody.
Let me remove this off of here too. I got too many things going on right here. Let's see. Okay, now we're ready. Woo!
Dion, Deborah, Carr.
Who is Carr?
That's Sister Carr down in the...
Sister Carr, and Deb is the second runner-up. Let us know if you can hear and see us good. I was playing something and I didn't know if it came through or not. But anyway, here we are. Sister Chris is on the phone listening. And Dee Dee's the third runner-up. Good morning, Dee Dee and George. Adele all the way from South Carolina. And Vern. Hey, Vern, I was thinking about you. Is this the week for Georgia? Let me know. Hey, CJ. I'm glad you're here.
Good to see you.
Lisa Renee. Good morning to you.
Morning.
She says, glorious morning. Good morning, Jill. And Bran. Glad you're here this morning.
Miss Phyllis.
And Phyllis Kendrick. Good morning to you, sweetheart. Mm-hmm. Lori says, what are you saying, Lori? Please pray for Lou and his family. His brother passed on Tuesday. Oh, we're so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
We certainly will be lifting him up and holding him up and supporting him. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah.
Okay.
Died from COVID. Thank you, sweetheart. We'll certainly be praying with him. And Leslie, I'm glad you're here this morning, baby.
Oh, Miss Leslie, yeah.
Yeah, good morning, hon. Good morning, Keely. Keely and Mark. What do you want to say, honey? I'm going to speak to everybody.
Go ahead. I can hold it.
And good morning, Keely and Mark and Sandra and Joe. Good morning. And Renee says she's doing okay. I'm glad you're doing okay. Sissy had a bout with some blood pressure and ended up in the hospital last week. So she's home now and recovering.
And the Kesslers are recovering also.
Thank you, Lisa. You can hear and see us fine. Good morning. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning to you. Good morning, Diane.
Armstrong.
Good morning, Apostle Norman. I got to call you. You called us and I forgot to call you back. I am so sorry.
Sandra.
Jill says she can hear us good. And who's this? Yeah, Brother Blue. Hey, Brother Blue.
John Greason.
Hope you and the family are doing well. John Greason. John Greason. Hello. Cynthia Spencer. Good morning. Good morning to you, sweetheart. Good morning to you. Vern, I'm a week behind. She said they went to Georgia last week. I'm a week behind, sweetheart. I am so sorry. All right. Let's see. I want to read something. Can I?
Mm-hmm.
You had something you wanted to say.
I got into what was said by some the one that was passed over.
Mm-hmm.
This is serious grown folks talking that we talk to you guys with each time we come on. We take it as the cream of the crop, and we are convinced that what we are saying is one of is the key. We may be saying it different than others, but we're saying something, I believe, that has to, and it does cover every incident that you guys are asking us to pray for, or you pray for us about, anything in pertaining to life in any form, understanding the full essence of why we are here, the essence of translation, interpretation, and full meaning, and being clear and absolutely convinced that regardless of the doubt and the fear and the trauma that happens to us, you are free,
Yes.
so free
Yes.
that you can drop your guard and express your emotions or the emotions and still stay focused on your true essence. And the more you learn about this, your true essence, the more you're going to see the fulfillment on an automatic basis of any and every question to be answered that need to be answered.
Yes. Then we have a couple of other people who came in. Good morning, Evelyn. Miss Evelyn, I'm glad to see you here, darling. Jude, I'm glad you're here, babe. And Phyllis Stapler, so glad you're here, sweetheart. And Connie, glad you're here, darling. Good morning to you. I want to read a scripture, can I? And I'm going to read quite a bit, but it's going to be good for us, I think. It's in Psalm 139, and it's a very comforting passage of scripture. So I'm going to read it. And I want you to just sit there. If you've got your cup of coffee or your tea or your Kool-Aid or whatever you've got, just sit back and relax and allow whatever is being said today to just go inside of you. And we want to encourage you guys to make comments. We love your comments and your questions. As long as they're on the subject, we'll try to address them as much as we can. But I want you to just center in right now, and Pastor's already given us some good inspiration. So let's just center in and let this go inside of us, okay? And it reads like this in Psalms 139. It says, O Lord, thou hast searched me and known me. Thou knowest my down sitting and my uprising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. Thou compassest my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways. For there is not a word in my tongue, but lo, O Lord, thou knowest it altogether. Thou hast beset me behind and before, and laid thine hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain unto it. Whither shall I go from thy spirit? Or whither shall I flee from thy presence? If I ascend up into heaven, thou art there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, thou art there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there shall thy hand lead me, and thy right hand shall hold me. If I say, surely the darkness shall cover me, even the night shall be light about me. Yea, the darkness hideth not from thee, but the night shineth as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to thee. For thou hast possessed my reins. Thou hast covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hid from thee when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned, when as yet there was none of them. How precious also are the thoughts, thy thoughts unto me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am with thee. Search me, O God, and know if my heart. Try me and know my thoughts. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. I like that, don't you?
Oh, yeah. This calls for the dinner bell.
It's a little loud. I hope you didn't bust Sister Chris's drums. Eardrums, that is.
That better?
That's better. All right. All right. What have you got good this morning? You got
Well,
something good?
I was contemplating and meditating, and as I did, you guys, I want you to understand that the truth behind every one of us on this site, and then jump off of this class into the universe.
Mm. Mm.
It is very important at this crisis in the globe and in the world of politics that you really get down to the pure question being asked for a pure receiving of an answer about who you really are in your essence in relationship to God. Because there are some things that are coming up. It's like they say, and what they say, before you can get into a church or some places, you must show evidence that you've had the vaccine. Now, I translate that over into what I'm getting ready to say to you about being safe.
Mm.
If you have to pull your card of evidence that you've had the vaccine, the booster, and all of that, what that is telling you in the world of spirit, it is time for you to pull up out of your most eternal strength the definition of who you are in your true essence. It must be this because when I look back in the Old Testament, and this is just metaphorically speaking, in books, and ink, and paper, the priest and everybody that was from the priestly order are kind of like the mystics.
Mm-hmm.
I found that in the history, the Jewish history, Hebrew, that there had to be an inscription or something over their head, and they had to be able to come into the holy place and the Holy of Holies, gradually peeling off awareness or consciousness of them being anything else other than one with God.
Mm. Mm.
Now, what Jesus did, or whatever was took place 2020 years ago, he fixed it so we didn't have to struggle
Yes.
so much
Yes.
trying to clean ourselves up. Oh, glory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Straighten out everything in our thinking, the bad habits and the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
Now I'm glad you said that because in my quiet time this morning and reading, I read a little bit more of the Naked Truth by my father
That's what
Richard
I'm talking about. The
Rohr,
naked truth.
and he mentioned that the religions that came from the East, their goal was not morals.
Okay. Okay.
It was not living right.
Right.
Their goal was harmony and non-distinction, where there was no judgment. It was more about balance. And so when you said that, that made me think of it, because what our goal here in the West has been is, do you live right? Right and wrong has been the focus most of the time.
I'm dialing a number on the red telephone. And I want you guys to pick up on your red telephone that it is an emergency that is now taking place at this very moment, that you pick the phone up and listen to the message that's being said to you is the matter of life and death in the area of your identity. Now, here's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Some of you don't know, and you're finding out that at the beginning of your physical body, before your physical body was formed, There was a database in the eons of the halls of record that showed you, and you knew in your true self what kind of body you were going to get in, like in a new car. And some of you seem to think that the old Chevrolet, the 56 and the 57,
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to be pounded up, new fenders, new motor, and completely rebuilt.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to come into this dimension where they're driving 2020s and you want to drive your Cadillac or your old 56 Chevrolet. It's okay. But you must understand that when you get in this 56 Chevrolet, you cannot get in it and drive it like it's a 56. You have to drive it like it's a 2022 automobile. And in order to do that, you're going to have to look at your 56 Chevrolet different than what you saw from the beginning.
Okay.
The original essence of your Chevrolet is going to have to learn how to live with your 2022 Cadillac identity.
Okay.
And honey, you've always been the first car, the first new beginning.
The original.
The original.
Yeah.
Your original must learn to drive the 56 like you're driving a brand new Cadillac. Now that's not being crazy. It's fine. What it is, you're going to look at the 56 for what it is. You're going to accept the fact that you've done all the changes in it that you can.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to go into the area of your identity where all changes have already taken place.
Yes. So our message, if there is a message that we have, has been or is not so much focused on whether you're doing things right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Your behavior is not the
Mm-hmm.
issue.
Mm-hmm.
What we are attempting to do, and hopefully we are effective at it,
Mm-hmm.
is to bring you to the place, like you said, where there is a part of you or a you that is already okay. If you can find that one that is you,
Mm-hmm.
all of the other stuff to try to become takes a back seat.
It was your God essence that brought you to your mama and daddy to be birthed inside of a physical body.
To come through.
To come through.
To come through them.
And where you
as a
came
portal.
from was not what you came through. You were already through with
Mhm.
where you came from to take up.
You're already through with. What are you looking back for?
I feel somebody looking over my shoulder.
Ah!
I feel somebody. I've been like that all night. I've been seeing somebody in the house walking and following me as though it is it's the presence of a being that wants to communicate with me about the reality of our essence.
Okay.
Okay.
As long as it's a friendly entity,
Oh, yeah,
that's
it's
fine.
fine. It's fine. Your awareness knew that you were in your mom and daddy,
Mm-hmm.
knew that you were coming, even though they didn't. They might say we planned this birth. They might say we knew that we were going, or you might hear some of them say we tried and we never have had a chance to give birth. But let me tell you something. You still have children in the dimensional worlds that you produced many lifetimes ago, and they still call you mama and daddy in your true essence. Now, here's something else. Anywhere you go, and anybody, first of all, that mentioned the name or the presence of God, your essence responds to it. If it's in a general conversation and somebody would say, "Oh Lord," your essence caught that, "Oh Lord." Your essence, the essence that you are, is completely in gear with other essences that seem to be separated as juice and container. You are connected with a link around the universe of every light being. Glory be to God. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, this thing is so there. You will learn the language of the essence world.
And you mentioned the light beings, and
Mhm.
there's a scripture that says, "You are the light of the world." Jesus said,
Mhm.
"You are the light of the world." So we are all light, but we all shine differently. And so what happens is we take.
You read it in Psalm, darkness and light.
Yeah, it's a light to him, to God, it's the same. And so we are all light, but we all shine differently.
Yeah.
For instance, a candle shines different from a lamp. Then you've got three-way lamps that will shine even brighter than the other lamp. Then you've got flashlights. So you've got all of these different types, all of the different ways of shining. So there's no need to compare yourself to anyone, because the way you shine is the way you're supposed to shine.
I have noted 1 to 3 times in my lifetime, like I turned and looked and somebody was behind me, awareness. I have actually went home after a eulogy in a church and look back over the procession of the family coming in. And I'm standing on the side. A lot of times I don't always go to the pulpit. I never care much for that, but I can stand up apart from it. And a lot of times I go to funerals and things like that. I won't tell them who I am. If they don't know who I am,
because you don't want to be there as a minister.
No, I don't.
You want to just be there.
No.
And Julie says this: the inside job of finding our God essence, our true essence. And it is an inside job.
Can I tell you something, Miss Judy? The reason why you post that statement there is because you are it. Go ahead on for yourself, girl. And that's when I say go for yourself, I'm not talking about independence. I'm not talking about ego. You know what I'm talking about. You've been in this long enough to know it. I don't really have to explain anything to you because you see it. Not only you now. Well, hold on. There's some others in here that understand the true essence.
Yes, they do.
What is so good about it? Let me tell you this right quick. When I looked over my past and this past of this conditioned finite world, I saw why essence in my family chose. My family and your family chose the maps that was embedded into your essence before this world.
Let me say it really simple.
Okay, go ahead.
Really simple.
Go ahead.
What you're saying is that you chose before coming here the family that you would come through because of the journey that you would have to take in order to go through that family.
This particular family that was set up met in the eons of the essence and decided every point blank from dot to tittle. This is the dot and tittle that Jesus was talking about in the James version or the Bible. That every dot and tittle
in the what kind of version?
The James version. This finite line upon line, precept upon precept, you walked it before the world to make sure that you were locked in to the right family.
Let me say this because I don't know if anybody new is going to come in on what we're talking about today, but if they do, they need to know that you're speaking from the realm of a mystic.
Okay.
And the mist story is what you're talking about. And you're simply pronouncing who we are and declaring what we are. And for some, they need practice.
Yeah.
But we're not offering any practice.
No, we don't.
We're used to. What we're offering is another way of seeing. Another way of seeing.
Here's what I would say. Here's what we're doing. We're seeing with eyes that we don't have, and we're knowing without the mind.
Yes, yes.
We learn how to listen to spirit essence from within, finding out that this wisdom that we are as the essence of God is in all things.
Yes, yes, yes.
That means we as essence is in all
Yes.
things. Now, I feel this. I often say this in whisper,
Mm-hmm.
and I look back and I turn, and this is the Nazarite secret that is revealed to you when the student is ready to see the master,
Mm-hmm.
and for those that have become masters to enter into the rest of actually it being true that you and God are the same essence.
Yes. This is not book knowledge.
No, no, no.
This did not come from
This is
any book.
knowledge without the mind.
And in the East, they teach the monks, the Buddhist monks. I read this yesterday as well. They teach the Buddhist monks how to know from contemplation.
Mm-hmm.
So they sit them down, and I may be getting this a little bit off. Some of you may know more than I do, but they sit them down, and the master teachers, the student gets in a lotus position and sits, and on down below, and the master teacher stands up over them, and they ask them a question, and they don't listen for a right or a wrong answer. They simply want that monk to go through contemplation until they come up with the knowledge that doesn't come out of a book. Then what they do is they smile and they clap. It's celebrating them for contemplating until they know.
When I'm sitting at my sewing machine, and when I made this hat that I'm wearing in front of you guys.
Yes, that's this Christmas hat. He's ready for Christmas.
And when I'm sitting at the sewing machine, essence, I'm looking at the folds, and every seam must match with each other. Sometimes when you understand the way your sewing machine works, if it's got walking needle, that's the way it's sewed right there.
Yeah, it actually walks.
That's the way that needle works. I sit and watch that needle move back and forth, and the feed dogs under it is pulling the garment through. Now here's respect. Every machine is not designed to sew thin cloth or material. The machine that I have, in order to get it to sew light, I have to adjust the length and the shortness of the thread, or the material, not the material, but the
stitch.
The stitch, yeah, the stitch, yeah. And I didn't know that until after I got messing with it. I said, now, it's something going on about the presser foot under this thing, that if I was to shorten like I'm going to show you, if you're listening, if you can hear me, a long stitch go,
right.
A short stitch go.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you turn the knob and
it's amazing. He gets it. Revelations sewing clothes.
Oh Lord.
He gets revelations everywhere. Truth comes from all directions, Lord. Doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And when you put a piece of real leather under it, the machine, if you adjust the stitch, it will gracefully respect the energy of the material to where it will not gather. Materials that light under, and see, my sewing machine was made.
It's industrial. Yeah, and for heavy duty.
And I got it because this is you. You were designed by a designer that put into your machine,
yes,
every type of material to do with your industrial machine what it ain't supposed to do, like a home light working machine. When I put that like cotton, real light cotton under there, under the foot, I'm going to have to change the pattern of the stitch. And I found out that in some places you have to stretch the material, and you have to be proficient enough with it to know how much pressure you're going to use to stretch it so that it won't gather.
Yes.
After I get into that, I have to test it a few times. Then there's a place in there where if you go too heavy with the stitch or too long, it won't mate on the bottom thread. It'll gather. Here's another one I find out.
Now you go.
Wait, I'm coming to a point.
Okay.
On the other hand, if your material or your thread is not adjusted right, this is your life, honey. The thread of life is the maps. You had to precisely, God showed me the perfection of two pieces of wood put together in section, that line that divide them. He said that is perfect distance in the realm of the mystical side of your identity.
So it's about balance and harmony.
You are perfect.
Not morality. It's about balance and harmony. I like what Vincent said. He said, I once read a passage where it was said your name, essence, is attached as the guide to your destination, your unknowing destination through this journey of life. And then he says, we have tools in this realm we aren't taught about in this day, but used to be taught way back. Yes, that's true. And so a lot of the things that we discover come from a place of that has no, there's no book knowledge for it. Like, for instance, just real simple things. Like my grandmother, my brother, when he was about 5 years, well, let's see, he was about 5 or 6. They had these old kerosene stoves. You might remember them, that had the glass fronts. They were round, and we used them. We had a little store. My grandfather had a little store that we ran in the neighborhood, and he had one of those little kerosene stoves there. My brother, playing around, fell up against it on his face. Burned his face really, really bad. My grandmother knew how to talk fire out of his body.
Wow.
Literally talked it out. She wouldn't tell anybody the secret. She said if she told anybody, it wouldn't work. But it was a scripture she used, but it was more to it than that. And she talked the fire out of my brother, and he had no scar, no pain.
Oh, wow.
No scar, no pain.
Okay. We have tools in this realm that we aren't taught about in this day. But they used to have.
Used to be taught. Yeah, way back.
Understand me. Understand this. Understand your essence. You are an ancient, what we call in this dimension, an old spirit.
Dee Dee says she knows how to do that.
Wait a minute now.
What? No, stop.
You're messing with something, girl. I know how to do that. Okay. Now here it is. Here it is. Knowing without the mind, learning to listen to spirit in wisdom.
Contemplative knowledge. Contemplative knowledge. Yes.
Seeing without eyes and knowing without a mind. You are the mind of the essence.
Yes.
Eternal Christ.
Yes.
Now, okay. In the 16th chapter of Luke, and we often use that as reference and metaphor, it came to pass in 1622, it came to pass that the beggar died, his body, and was carried by the angel, spirit, light being, or his true identity, into Abraham's bosom, a place. The rich man also died and was carried. Something ceased and something continued on. It's called a contingencies. Contingencies. Okay. And in hell, he lifted up his eyes. He could see eyes.
Right.
being in torment emotion,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing distance,
Mm-hmm.
Abraham's um, afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He was seeing inside the bosom of the chest cavity of a spirit being that used to be on earth but is now translated into spirit by leaving the body. Now, watch this. The heart was revealed to me of Jesus
Mm-hmm.
in a way to find out and to see and to know that everybody you meet, I'm telling you, this is strong, has the same heart.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but but there's a clause in there that when we came into this dimension, the story, we wanted to go through what we are dealing with.
Yeah. Yeah.
This school here
Yeah.
is real popular.
It
And
is.
let me tell you something else. There's always an assembly somewhere in the realms of the spiritual where somebody is in a auditorium, a theater, or a hall of recognition. Somebody just passed the test of their final lesson on earth, and they have graduated into another level of light.
Yes, yes. Sandra said this. She said, when I was a nurse's aide, I wasn't taught ways of making my patients comfortable, but it came within how to make them comfortable, and it worked and made them feel better. That's good, Sandra. Then she said, oh, she repeated it. Okay. We got it, sweetie. We got it.
God and us, or me, we are the same us in essence. Wisdom shows. Wisdom shows the essence of God in all things. Here's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Essence never stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
It never stopped, and it never stops communicating.
Mm-hmm.
Learning the essence will eventually, just hearing this conversation today, is sparking inside of your inquisitioning nerve to investigate.
Inquisitioning
Yeah,
nerve.
your inquisitioning nerve.
What is that?
That is it's a nervous, it's a nerve in there, it's a muscle in there. It is tendons and essence of creation ability. Essence is that ability to take Adam's body
you're
from the earth.
You're feeling very poetic, aren't you?
I don't know what you
Yeah,
call it.
you're feeling very poetic, and
And then I saw us as the dirt come alive from one side, from both angles.
That's what I'm talking about. You're feeling very poetic.
Mm,
And you wanted to talk. You want to talk the mystery this morning, and that's good. That's
The
good.
understanding of your essence is the key to God as us being one and the same essence is the heart of God, seeing the heart also in everything.
Keely says this.
What's that?
She says, I had a dream long ago that I was in a giant library
Mm.
and just absorbed all the knowledge.
Mm.
What you saw, Keely, was the download that is inside of you. It has been downloaded. So when we contemplate anything, the answer comes up out of it. And so that's why we say this isn't book knowledge. This is contemplation knowing, contemplative knowing. So we're not here to quote a book necessarily. We use the books because they give us language of what we have already seen and what we've contemplated and gotten to a place of knowing through that contemplation. So the books are not the foundation. The books give us language, but what you saw was that you have the download inside of you already. Everything that you need to know. I heard Muji, who is another sage and spiritual teacher, he said, once you see and you see clearly, you will know everything.
Mm-mm.
You will know everything.
The office and the professionalness essence of light beings find themselves in hospitals, recovery
Mm-hmm,
rooms,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
medical
mm-hmm,
stations
mm-hmm. Yes.
to make sure that whatever the doctor is doing, okay, let's say it like this. They're looking at your charts. They're
Yeah.
looking at the charts of the doctors. They're looking
Yeah.
at all the information that was downloaded in each other's us spirit. And we said, well, the doctor made a mistake and hit something in there and killed somebody in my family. The doctor was reading the contract, and in the contract, here's what he found out. He said, oh, I'm supposed to make this turn and that turn in order for this person in that body to be released at a certain time or to prolong
Mm,
their
mm,
stay in that
mm,
body. And
mm-hmm,
it's and in the
mm-hmm.
eyes of God, night, light, and day is
Are like.
alike.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a big pill to swallow.
It is
It is.
for the finite
Yeah.
mind.
If you want to get through this that I just said easier, don't try to figure out what I said. Let your teacher, your mentor, essence, teach you more about what I said and not let your mind. Do not engage your mind into what I just said.
Exactly.
Because if you
Exactly.
do, you're going to
Mhm.
be writing notes on there saying, well, are you trying to say God do evil and hurt people? No, I am not.
No, you're not saying that.
I'm telling you to stay neutral. When I went to get therapy for my back, one of the last therapists said to me, he said, you're going to have to change the way you center your back stance.
Yes.
You have to make yourself walk and sit.
You have to be conscious of
Conscious
it
of it.
at first.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yes. Until it becomes a habit. And that's where we are in our spiritual journey. A lot of this we've embraced, we know, and now we've got to consciously live it out until it becomes habit.
My uncle playing under a stove when he was little, and a pan of hot grease fell on his head and did third, fourth degree burn. He survived it. Now here it is. He meets a lady in the plantation named Edith Shores. And as he met her, I began to investigate when I was little in pictures and visions and stories where and how they came together. Long story short, I saw the pain of my uncle being used as a way to get him to run into certain people that would do certain things to him, for him, and around him that would move him into a place of being very prosperous, looking like it was an illegal thing, which it was. But the purpose of my uncle existing was part of the plan was to take me from my mother.
Yeah, that's a role he played.
And that was the role he played.
Yes.
And the woman that really instigated that procedure was my aunt. She went to my mother at not long after I was born, and I can remember when it was done, and asked my mama to let me come with them. This that seems like sin was turned into light.
Okay, now this is the thing that you made me think of when you said that, what appeared to be sin.
Mm-hmm.
In our Western culture, our religious conditioning has focused on what's sinful and what's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in the East, it has
Yeah.
been more about the harmony, again,
Mm-hmm.
about
Mm-hmm.
harmony
Mm-hmm.
and non-distinction
Mm-hmm.
and balance. And so there wasn't a lot of emphasis placed
That's
on
right. That's right.
sin
Right.
and all of that. And so the sin card has been overplayed. It's been overplayed. And this
Mm-hmm.
thing of looking at life through the lens of right and wrong is what caused us a lot of problems.
I graduated in this lifestyle. I graduated in it in the way I see it.
Yes.
It ain't
yes.
been easy.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody said
That's come over a period of time too.
yes.
It didn't happen all of a sudden. Our awakening or enlightenment has not been a sudden awakening. It's been a gradual opening of our third eye, or an opening of the eyes of our heart to see. And I this week
Mhm.
I prayed a prayer. I remember hearing Olive and Yolanda on
Mhm.
Friday talking about shifting paradigms and
Mhm.
talking about that. Um, and I prayed a prayer yesterday morning. I said, I really want to be able to see life the way God sees it,
Mhm. Mhm.
through the lens of love, through the lens of inclusivity, through the lens of unity, through the lens of non distinction. I want to be able to see life that way.
I went through a phase with one of my automobiles where I wanted the bottom half of the engine in my Jeep had been rebuilt by warranty contract. You came into this world with the instructions and the contracts in your essence as to how this thing was supposed to work.
Mhm.
But we got distracted and went into book and paper or paper and ink and chose to make paper and ink a God outside
Mhm.
of who God really
Mhm.
was and
Mhm.
is before the
And
paper.
paper and ink cannot change the way you
No,
see.
no. All right, here's what happened. I wanted to put a different type of cam inside of the engine. In order to get to this cam, just one object, or maybe two, the bearings and the cam. It's a long thing, got loops on it. He had to tear that engine all the way down. And if you're gonna put new bearings in, you're gonna have to take it loose from the transmission. This is what happened to us in our true essence,
Mm-hmm.
growing
Mm-hmm.
up in our family.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's
Now
true.
watch this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how I was going to get the top half of it rebuilt several years later. And when I went after this cam, all they did was that one object they had to tear down. In order to get this cam to work in the engine, 3.8, I was sent new valve springs and the heads on both sides of the engine had to go to the machine shop. They had to readjust the head, put new springs in it, and guides and everything in there to match up with the bottom half. Now watch this. Oh glory. What's going on now in our life is the matchup.
Okay.
That one thing that calls us in wrong identity, wrong seeing, that one thing was used. Let me say it like this: something was corrected through your communication skills in the way you grew up in your family. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
real self.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So we often uh the need to view life differently,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
the need to be able to see life in another way
mm-hmm,
doesn't come until life events happen. Every life event changes how you see
mm-hmm.
and how you view life. So it like you said, it had to happen that way.
In order for us to see our true capabilities and see through every problem and have the right question and answer, God used our birthing childhood
And adulthood.
and our
Yeah.
and our what?
Everything that happens
And
to
our
us. Yes.
environment to
Everything.
bring us to this point where we could talk on this show
That's
or
right.
on this stage and on this film and hear
This stage. Okay.
well and hear the result. We are talking about the result of the way you were growing up and came through and in school and what you dealt with,
It all brought you to
it
this
brought
point.
you to this
Yes.
point. My God.
It brought you to
yes,
this
yes,
seeing.
yes.
This seeing.
And it ain't over yet.
Yes. Now, and I got comments. I got to read.
Yeah, go ahead,
okay?
go ahead, go ahead.
And Laurie says, if everything is used for the ultimate good, what one means for evil, God uses for good. Yes.
Better watch that,
Yes.
girl. That's a full course dinner.
Yes, it is. And Judy says, from our limited perspective, we can't see the big picture
Mhm.
of how it all fits together.
Mhm.
So our judging doesn't serve us or anyone. That's true. So the goal then, Judy, would be to jump out of that finite seeing into that universal mind that you already are.
Before I could get those new parts in that engine to work right, excuse me, little Vince, I had to have that engine on the computer system reprogrammed.
Okay. Okay.
I went to have that last part checked out of the programming. I took the meter and took it to the Jeep place. They wiped out the old programming
Mm-hmm.
and left the Jeep with an undone programming back into it. I went down the road and I mashed the gas in it, and all the gas just went flop. It said, buh, 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 buh. I said, what is the ham sandwich wrong with this thing? I mashed it in. I didn't get no further than a half a block out of the service department. I turned around and went back. And when I went back, I pulled up and I said, you didn't program this thing. Well, Mr. Sawyer, when you get home, you can program it yourself. I said, I said, I didn't pay you for me to program it. I want you to do it because that's what I paid you to do. That's why I'm here. He sat there in the Jeep, took the thing out and plugged it up to the connection underneath the dashboard and reprogrammed it. I'm still convinced that it's not fully programmed like it should be on a dyno tuning. Here's my point. You are in the stage and in the process of being super dyno tuned on a machine that will tell you and show you inside of you everything you need to do for the next day phase. That's the reason why Romans 8 said, likewise the Spirit also maketh intercession for us with groanings that cannot be uttered. The creature is made subject to vanity unwillingly. In other words, you were put in a situation that you could not handle in a natural way so that the super self could take it over. Every time you run into something that requires the essence of the super self, it don't have to be prayed for, fast for, asked questions about. It automatic. It knows its job and don't have to have nobody following it around to make sure it fulfills its destiny in essence. Essence is automatically working and seeing on a life eternal basis to make sure that your engine is programmed and remain programmed correctly. Whether you read the Bible or whether you pray enough, whether you fast enough, you don't have to do one thing but watch it.
Yes.
And if you can't see it, you will see it eventually.
Yes. Now our time is up, and my sweetie pies are taking off. Some of them are leaving. Pastor Norma has service in just a few minutes at 11 on Facebook, and Judy Jew said she had to run. Let me see what Sean said. So the mystical information we get from books and spiritual teachers come from the same place within us, where we get ideas and recall experiences, like when something comes to us. Yeah, that's exactly right, sweetheart.
That's it. There's a backup plan in essence that if the consciousness or if the physical world does not produce it, you already got the stuff made into you that will make up for the slack.
Exactly. So that's exactly right. You have the download, but the contemplation is what we really need to stay with.
Got to do it. You got to do it. You ain't gonna get nowhere because it ain't nowhere to go. You done already been there. You the going of God, which is called the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Now I placed up here how to give. You guys remember how to do that, I'm sure. If you can and you have a phone or a laptop right now, I want you to go ahead and click on the links that Jill has placed in there for us, or go to Cash App. You guys know how to do it. I don't have to tell you how to do it. But anyway, we thank you for your gifts and your support to Cornerstone and to Pastor and I. So we are truly blessed by your being here with this spiritual community. and how you have blessed us by participating and
Yes.
commenting and asking
Mhm,
questions. And
mhm.
we just love you guys so
Yeah,
much. We love
yeah.
you so much. And Oliver, we love you guys.
Thank you, Brother Oliver.
You and
for
Yo-Yo, I
coming
am
with
so
us.
glad you were here today.
I was researching last night. I couldn't talk to you. I was researching. But you guys have been wonderful and great. And I
Yes,
bless you
yes,
and I
yes.
call forth into full awareness the Christ consciousness that it will manifest itself, the manifest the missing or the blanks or the space in between you and the next step you need to take.
Thank you, Vincent. We love you too, sweetheart. We love you, Israel. I'm glad you were with us this morning.
Yes.
Ollie says we love the mystics.
Oh shucks, yeah, you in there too, bro. I got a feeling that you in Orlando or Yolanda is it's gonna click in you. It's gonna click in you.
It's clicking already.
Yeah, it's
clicking already.
Clicky.
It's clicking already.
You the clickety.
Anyway, we'll be back. Pastor Norman and I will be back on Thursday for impromptu at 12:30.
We'll talk to you if you start.
Yeah.
If you come on, if you join up with us, we'll talk
and
to you.
Pastor and I will be back on Tuesday at 7
Yeah,
o'clock.
we're gonna talk to you some more now. Okay.
We love you guys too. We'll see you next time.
We love you more than you like Colonel Sanders chicken.
Well, you almost messed that up.
Colonel Channels.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about that.
I don't know if it's loud on your end, but it's loud on our end. He's got a heavy head.
We'll eat you a donut. It'll be all right.
Yeah, bye, Lively Stones. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye-bye.